Welcome to the 2022 Golf Summer Series race number 5. Tonight, we're here at the Iowa Speedway for the running of the Iowa Corn 300. Tonight, 38 drivers and teams come to the Cornfields of the Midwest for this short track known for its fast speeds and crazy wrecks. But before we get started, let's take a look at our starting lineup. So on the pole already for the second time this year is the 9-car Lipsy, followed by rookie Noah Clifton, the 76. Row 2, another rookie, this being the 23 of Andrew Williams, and next to him, the fellow Dodge of Brendan Beal in the 16. Row 3, Richard Herman and Johnny Hernandez. Row 4, Random J and Matthew Burnett. Row 5, Caleb Rose and Matthew Hill. Row 6, Ross Picarola and Roberto Crown. Row 7, Keith Charrington and Jason Albert. Row 8, David Johnson and Alex Cass Stevens. Row 9, Dan McMurrow and Nathan Stapleton. Row 10, Kyle Stallman and RC Gamer. Row 11, we got the two Summer Series champions who both fittingly won at the Roval. 2020's champ Kellen Baker, who of course won just last week, as well as the Fenix Series champion Hoodwell. Row 12, Riot Roberts, who won our last short track race at Vancouver, and Xavier in the 33. Row 13, last year's Iowa winner, Ryan Wilson in the 48, next to him the 87 and Nathan Baird. Row 14, Joe T in the 8 and Nick Sand the 20. Row 15, This Powwow and Jordan Stout. Row 16, Ada Robertson and Gaming Freak. Row 17, Trey Smith and Dan Matteillo. Row 18, Owen Miles and Iowa native Braden Carruthers. And finally, row 19, we find the top 2 in points. Jordan Forbes, who came in this race second in points, and current points leader Bradley Reim in the 6th. So pretty shocking that these guys starting all the way back in the final row. And now it is time for the starting command here in Iowa Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines.
Well, let's take a look at the track info here for tonight's race. So we're going to go 63 laps on this approximately 0.8 mile long short track with 12 to 14 degrees of banking in the corners. And as water here tonight in Newton, 51 degrees Fahrenheit with 9 miles per hour towards the northwest. As you can see, the past two Iowa winners, Jake from State Farm in 2020 and Ryan Wilson in 2021, when this race was ran under the daylight. Now, with that being said, the pace car is down pit road, as the fans are all on their feet here in Iowa, as Lipsy and Clifton lead to field the green here in the Iowa Corn 300. And it's going to be a phenomenal start for Lipsy as they go into turn number 1. Here comes Andrew Williams on the side-by-side of Clifton as they continue through the first 2 corners. Already 3 wide towards the middle of the pack. You can see Matthew Burnett almost way up high in the racetrack in the 13. As Lipsy off turn number 4 will come to complete lap number 1 here at Iowa. As we got trouble in the field, Matthew Burnett gets turned in front of the field, collecting Nathan Stapleton, This Powwow, his teammate Brady Carruthers, among others. As they're already under caution for this pretty sizable wreck here at Iowa. I mean, we've seen this track have pretty big wrecks in the past, especially in this front stretch, and it did not take long at all to happen here. As you see the heavy smoke coming from 2 of the Spina Bifida drivers, saying that they're pretty much done for the night in their home race. As we try to catch back up with the rest of the field, as well, Nathan Stapleton gets turned again. I think he maybe got turned by the 87 and Baird down the back straightaway. And you see Jordan Forbes also got some damage in 61. As I said, he came this race second in the point standings. Definitely not the way he wanted to start off this night. It could quite possibly end his top 10 streak. Meanwhile, it looked like the order at that time by was Lipsy in the 9-car. As it's definitely going to take quite some time for these GSS officials to clean up this track. But while we're doing that, let's take a look at these 3 pointers here that caused this massive wreck on just the 2nd lap in this race. So if you remember when I mentioned how Matthew Burnett was 3 wide going into turn number 3 on the outside, well, here's what happened as they're coming off turn number 4. So So Burnett was still running the outside, hits the wall, runs himself out of room, turns to 31 and to 80, just sent pretty much everyone in the mass pandemonium here, collecting a lot of good drivers, like his teammate Braden Carruthers, this powwow. Nathan Stapleton among others, taking this in slow motion now. You can see Burnett, of course, hitting the wall, 31 hitting him, and then coming up on him. You can see Jason Albert coming down as well, trying to avoid the 13, but subsequently hits the 30 at a Salomon. Alex Cass-Stevens got some damage in the 12. Of course, Nathan Stapleton, 97. Also subsequently collects 7 of this power. Man, that dude's been involved in so many wrecks this year. And his teammate Braden Carruthers, Jordan Forbes, hitting Burnett there in the last second, sending Burnett airborne a little bit, actually, in the 13. And you can see behind them, Nixon also went around the 20, as he may have some damage there as well. Let's go on board for him to see if that's the case or not. Yep, definitely got some damage there on the left side. As you see Dan Matteillo there hitting him at the last second. But it seems like the 17 is going to be okay. Scrabble put him here in the 88 car. Managed to avoid. Wow, good miss there for Hodom. He's got nearly hit twice. Once, of course, by Burnett. And almost got hit again by Braden Carruthers. As we take a look what happened to Stapleton after the fact. Oh, looks like Stapleton just came up on Nathan Bear, sending the 97 spinning there for a brief second, causing the 97 to have even more damage to his right side. Anyways, under caution already here at Iowa for yet another front stretch pileup. We'll be right back for you guys after this. Welcome back to the Golf Summer Series here at Iowa. We're about to Red Green after a massive multi-car incident in the front straightaway, collecting several notable drivers, taking out the 18 and 13 of Braden Carruthers and Matt Burnett respectively, alongside other drivers like Nathan Baird, Nathan Stapleton, this Powell, and others to have some damage. Currently, your leader is Lipsy, the 9 car, followed by the 23 of Andrew Williams, the 76 Noah Clifton. Those 3 drivers are still trying to chase their first ever Golf Summer Series wins. As here we go, pace car down pit road as we come back to the reflag here in Iowa. Good restart for most of this top dozen, but it's going to be the Dodgers of Lipsy and Williams side by side through turns 1 and 2. Looks like off of 2, Lipsy will clear the 23 to take back the lead. Into turn 3, Williams now on the outside, dealing with Clifton for second, as now it comes to 95 of Herman to challenge the 23. As Lipsy led lap number 7, Williams still side by side with Herman through turns 1 and 2. As behind the 95, here comes the 16 of Brendan Beal, also to challenge the 23 as they come up turn number 2. Into turn 3, Herman up to 3rd, as Beal is still side by side the 23 with final clear the 23 off turn number 4, as now the 46 of Johnny Hernandez is now trying to creep his way into the picture. Random J in the 53 also on the outside as he's side by side with Matthew Hill going into turn number 1. As Random and Johnny especially, 2 veterans in the summer series, while both working for good runs here tonight. As Random came to race 18th for points, where Hernandez came to race all the way back in 35th. Speaking of a veteran looking for a good run here tonight, Jason Albert in the 80 came to race all the way back in 29th. As he's currently side by side with the winner from the last race at the Roval, Kellen Baker, with defending Iowa winner Ryan Wilson behind him. As Random nearly got in the wall going into turn number 1 there, but thankfully Random switched it out to not make it another 3-wide situation. Doesn't say that Dan McMurray also nearly made a 3-wide off too. Both Williams moving down in front of Matthew Hill, ended up preventing that from becoming a 3-wide situation. Meanwhile, back up to the front of the field, as both Lipsy and Clifton are pulling away from the rest of the field, with the 76 trying to get a good run off your pole sitter. As we're going to drive down pit road, it's 24 Keisha Archison. The ACW champion and Roval runner reportedly has a tire down in that car. As he hit the wall, as he has some right side damage to that car. As we'll come down this pit stall, the team will take care of it as he will go a lap down. Tough break for the 24. As he came this race instead of top 10 in points in 3rd. Meanwhile, as we cut back again to Clifton, the 76. And frankly, much like most of these drivers inside this top 15 or so, Clifton's another driver who came this race looking for a good run. As much like Lipsy, he's trying to get his first ever Summer Series win, and also trying to get NS Racing's first ever win as well. As the other driver and car owner of NS Racing, Nathan Stapleton, was of course involved in a lone caution so far. Behind him in 3rd place is Richard Herman in the 95, who won the first ever GSS race back in 2020. But he's not been the victory ever since. Round goes Jason Albert, the 80 car down the back, should away. Just bring the caution back out. Oh, this power hits him hard. Alongside Stapleton in 97. Jesus Christ, that was a hard hit from both Power and Stapleton there. And this will mark Stapleton's 2nd wreck of the night. But this time he'll be done for the night. As we got cars coming down Pyros, pretty much everyone is going to come down pit road this time by. Of course, led by Lipsy, Clifton, Herman, Beal, and Hernandez as those are your top 5 back to the line. And here we got everyone official down pit road here. Got some drivers already in the stalls, including Ryan Wilson, the 48 car you saw there. As you see now, Richard Herman in, Johnny Hernandez in, Brendan Beal's in, alongside Andrew Owens in the 23. As you see, Lipsy and pretty much everybody else is going for 2 tires and gas this time around. As Williams is done to the 23, who we first off pit road, followed by Herman. Lipsy nearly hit the 95 there, as everybody else will come off pit road here. So as I mentioned, Williams won the race off pit road, followed by Richard Herman in 95, Ryan Wilson to 48 in 3rd, as Lipsy will fall down to 4th, and Clifton will fall down to 5th. Anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our second caution of the night here at Iowa. So this was another instance of 3 wide, this time coming off turn number 2, with Random J on the outside, Albert in the middle, and point scooter Bradley Reim in the inside. So Random comes down on Albert, subsequently sends Albert down on Bradley Reim, sends him spinning down the back. Didn't get too much damage there, but then here's Powell, a hard hit for the 7, and a hard hit for Stapleton, as that will completely total those rookies' cars. Strong blue to Bradley Reim here. Oh yeah, Random definitely came down and out, maybe in a late block or something. I think some people would cause Bradley to spin the 80 car, but I don't think Bradley would have anything wrong there. Goes Grand Board with this Powell out in the 7. And she was actually going to avoid it, but sees Albert in the last second. That was a hard hit with Stapleton. Bam! Also, really hard look there, as this will be another footnote in Powell's so far disastrous rookie season. But after that, here's what happened as the field was coming down pit road. Matthew Hill and Ross McMurrow caused a stack up, with Jordan Stout getting the worst of it. Cass Stevens and 12 also got damaged, as this will be the second time in a row both drivers have been involved in some sort of stack up under caution, as the 2 of them are also involved in stack ups at the Roval, as they're under caution again here at Iowa. This coming Tuesday night, the Golf Summer Series will head to the Chicagoland Speedway for a first day tonight and bound half race of the season. Barring any delays, they'll be on channel Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Meanwhile, here at Iowa, we're about to go back green after a spin involving the 80 car edition Albert in the back straightaway. He also collected the 97 Nathan Stapleton and the 7 this powwow. All 3 of those drivers I mentioned on Iowa the race are done for the night. As you can see, the rest of the field for whatever reason is split up with everyone else. You see Joe T and others trying to catch back up with this main group of cars. Cass Stevens there, Kyle Salmon. But currently top 3 is a 23 of Andrew Williams, followed by the 95 of Richard Herman, and the 9 car Lipsy. 2 of those drivers looking for first ever GSS wins as we're back on the green here at Iowa. And once again, a good restart on the outside as Herman is side by side with Williams going into turn number 1. And once again off turn 2, the inside loop of Beal once again, with Williams going to 95 down the back straightaway. Well behind them, Clifton side by side with affiliate teammate Ryan Wilson, the 48. Coming to lap number 19 this time by, looks like Lipsy of the advantage over the 95. And it's going into turn number 1 once again. We're 3 wide with Kellen Baker all the way up on the outside. And it's going to cause him and McMillan to touch going into turn number 2. They're going to cause a very serious incident there, but thankfully we were able to sort it out. So David Baker near makes contact with Joe T down the back straight away. And despite us just now getting to lap number 20, definitely some very crazy racing, especially towards the middle part of this field. You see Hernandez in the wall coming towards the front straightaway. Seen a lot of drivers hit that portion of the wall throughout this entire night, as well as our entire time here at Iowa, which I think does a good job of showing how tough this track is compared to other short tracks. Meanwhile, back up front is the Dodge top 2, with Williams still in first and Lipsy back up to second, with Clifton in the 3rd and his technical teammate of Ryan Wilson, who of course won this race last year. I think I battle for 5th coming off turn number 4. Trey Smith on the inside in the 22. Alongside the 99 of Dan McMarola. As we look at the gaps between these leaders, that time by Lipsy was just under 0.3 of a second behind the 23. Wilson doing the smart thing and not trying to pass the 76 of Clifton, as both of them will try to catch up with the 2 Dodges. Looks like going into turn number 3 this time by Trey Smith has the advantage over the 99 McMarola. And you know Keith Strange is right behind the 22 car after turn number 4. He is a lap car, as the 24 under green came down the pit road for an apparent issue to that Pontiac. As we go into 1, McMarola is still stuck on the outside. He's now currently side by side Brendan Beal for the 5th position. Looks like last time by Beal had the advantage over the 99 car. As now down the back straightaway, here comes David Johnson to throw his hand to the ring. He's now side by side the 99 through turns 3 and 4. You also saw that Keisha Arch's side-by-side with Trey Smith, with the 24 being on the inside, as Williams still leads in 23, as even the last time by Lipsy gained some ground in the 23. He lost nearly a full attempt this time by, as on the 9 car is just back under 3 tenths to a second behind. Going into this race, Lipsy was 14th in the point standings after a very respectable 12th place finish at the Roval, which caused him to gain 10 positions in the point standings, as he's still looking for his first ever GSS win. Looks like last time by Lipsy did close the gap a little bit between him and Williams. As we're going to see how close he is this time, coming to lap number 25. As looks like he'll indeed trim a little bit of that ground on the 23. Now down to just under 2 tenths to a second. Speaking of drivers also gaining ground, the 76 and Noah Clifton, he's gained tons of ground on these 2 leaders. Of course, Clifton's another one of our rookies, as he came this race deep in the standings at 32nd. Meanwhile, as for his affiliate teammate and defending Iowa winner Ryan Wilson, as he's also looking for a good rebound here tonight, as he came this race 27th for the point standings. Of course, Keisha runs to the lap down to 24. Trey Smith looking for his 3rd GSS win in his career. And much like the other drivers mentioned so far in this running order, he's also looking for a good rebound as he finished dead last at the Roval and is currently a very dismal 37th in points. Speaking of the number 37, there's a former driver of the 37 back in 2020, Brendan Beal in the 16. He's also yet another driver looking for a good rebound here tonight. Meanwhile, in 7th is David Johnson in 2 cars doing a little bit better than these Dodgers in points. As he came this race 24th in points, looking for a second top 10 of the season. Here's the 3rd rail friend driver into this top 10, this being the 19 of Caleb Rose. As he came this race 12th in points, while behind him is the 9th place driver of Dan Macarolo, who is only 4rd inside his top 10. As he came this race 31st in the point standings. And rounding off the rest of the top 10 is points leader Texas World winner Brad Reim in the 6th, but despite getting some hood damage a little bit earlier in the race, is still running very strong as he looks to extend his points lead. Richard Herman down to 11th in 95, but despite that still running very solidly inside his top 15. As he came this race 19th in points, looking to ride that momentum after a solid run at the Roval. Meanwhile, 12th place is the 31 of Roberto Crown Jr. As he came this race 28th in the point standings. As behind him, there's a battle for 13th between the 10th Ross McRolla and the 30th of Cal Salmon. And of course, McRolla is the only spotted Biffa driver left in this race after his 2 teammates of Braden Carruthers and Matthew Burnett wrecked down on lap number 2. 15th is Joe T in the 8 car, who ironically came this race 8th in the point standings. While behind is a battle for 16th between 2 of the best drivers, the actual race winner Friday Roberts in the 42 and Cass Stevens in the 12, who of course won the pole and led the most laps at the Vancouver race last month. Well, just behind him in 18th is a battle between 2 RC teammates. RC Gamer in the 1 car and the 20th of Gaming Freak. It looks like RC is going to clear his teammate going into turn number 2, as both those Chevys are 16th and 23rd in the points respectively. While behind them, former Chevy driver Random J, as he came to this race 18th in the point series after he got a much-needed top 5 run at the Roval, as the 53 is able to finish 4th. Behind him is car number 20 of Nixon in 21st, who came in this race 5th in points after a rather disappointing 26th place finish at the Roval. Speaking of Roval, last year's Roval winner, Hoodlum, runs behind him in 22nd, as a defending Summer Series champion, came to this race 10th in points. And of course, at the Roval last week, Hoodlum had a run-in of his own father and teammate Johnny Hernandez, who was behind him in 23rd. And of course, Hoodlum essentially punted his own dad out of the way and going into the backstretch chicane, which caused Johnny to finish a rather underwhelming 25th place. Behind him is the 2020 Roval winner of Dana Matteillo, who currently wins 24th, by far the worst of all the Rail fan drivers, as the 17 car came in this race 6th in points. Behind him is Matthew Hill in the 90, who just moved up to 25th, having around a mediocre start to his summer thus far, as the second-year driver is still looking for his first ever GSS win. And then behind him is a battle for 26 between Kellen Baker, last week's winner, and the 33 of Xavier, but looks like Baker off turn number 2 have the advantage over the 33. Of course, the 2020 Series champion came this race 4th in points after his huge win last week at the Roval, but his run here so far tonight could possibly dent that comeback. As for the 33 of Xavier, he came this race 30th in the point standings in the 33. And because of Baker moving Xavier to the outside, he's going to Owen Miles in the 37 to get a run on the inside. He's coming to lap number 35 to get a good run on the inside. Miles is another driver who had a big run at the Roval last week. So he was able to score a 6th place finish and allowed him to move up 17 spots in points up to 20th. There's the winner from opening night last month, Jordan's down to 11. Currently 29th, basically been a deja vu situation for that 11 team, as he was involved in a stack up under caution, much like he did twice last week at the Roval. And to round off the rest of the top 30 is the 54 of Aiden Robertson, who came this race 26th in points and has had a roller coaster of a GSS season thus far. And despite both Stout and Robertson having significant damage to their cars They're still keeping up decent with the rest of the field, in contrast to Nathan Baird in 87 car currently 31st, who has little to no damage to his car, yet has completely lost pace with the rest of the field, and will definitely cause a huge hit in the point standings for the 87 team here tonight. 32nd is the second place driver in points, Jordan Forbes in the 61. Of course, up to this point, has finished inside the top 10 in every single race, but that's going to change now as he'll go 2 laps down, as the 23 will clear him coming to lap number 37. The 976 get back down to the inside. As it was like going into turns 1 and 2, Lipsy as well as the other drivers behind them are going to try to get around to 61. Down to back straightaway. Looks like the entire top 4 is going to get around to 61 as you go into turn number 3 on the inside. And of course, this allows Lipsy and Clifton to get a run off the 23 as ZK Sargent will get to the inside of the 48 as you come to lap number 38, despite the 24 being a lap driver. Looks like they got that time by between Lipsy and Williams with exactly 3 tenths per second. As you see, Wilson is still stopped beside Keith Sargent through turns 1 and 2. And I can definitely imagine if Ryan Wilson or Trey Smith right now, I'm probably asking, what are you doing, Keyshawn? I get your second in points going into this race, but you're 2 laps down. The likelihood of getting one of your laps back is rather low. As I say that, Richard's going to get around the 48 car as they come to lap number 39. Wilson now side by side with Smith going into turn number 1, as Johnson and 2 cars right behind these two right in the picture. As you see behind these guys, Dan McRowe's going to get around Caleb Rose off turn number 2 for 7th. And you see Rose trying to fight back on the outside, much like every other short track we go to. It's going to be no match for the inside lane as you go through turns 3 and 4. Speaking of which, Wilson's still on the outside, this time side by side with David Johnson. As you head back up front, you see Lipsy right behind the back bumper of Williams in the turn number 1 this time by, as the gap between those 2 Dodges is less than a tenth of a second as Rumble with the 9 car once again down the back straight away. Seems like Lipsy gets the best run into the corners, but a bad exit from Lipsy off 4 is going to allow Williams to pull away as you come to lap number 41 this time by. Looking at the intervals this time by, looks like, yep, the gap between Lipsy and Williams doubled from just under 10 for a second to now just under 2 tenths for a second. That's now Clifton's all over the back bumper with that 9 car. But into turn number 3, looks like that seems to be helping Lipsy, if anything, as he's able to gain tons of ground back on the 23. As looks like this time around, Lipsy's going to get a good exit off turn number 4 as they come to lap number 42. Into turn 1, Lipsy was briefly peeking his nose to the inside the 23. We'll try it again going into turn number 2. Looks like he will. But immediately as I say that, Lipsy's going to tuck in his nose back in behind. Into turn 3, Lipsy once again peeking his nose to the inside the 23. As you see now behind him, Keith Sargent and looking to the inside the 76. Coming to lap number 43, let's see what the gap is between Lipsy and Williams this time around. As Clifton's once again right behind the back bumper of Lipsy. At that time, as it looked like the gap that time by was back just under 2 tenths for a second. As Clifton's all over the back bumper of the 9 car. As he now looks to the inside the 9 car going into turn number 2. As they're now side by side for second. Into turns 3 and 4, Clifton and Lipsy still side by side. With the 76 having the slight advantage over the 9 car. But as we come to lap number 44, it's time for another edition of Golf Summer Series Crank It Up. lap number 52 is 63 here at Iowa. Only 12 laps to go. As the 23 of Williams still leads, Lipsy back up to second to 9, while the 76 Clift is back down to third. Coming back to the start-finish line this time by 11 laps to go. As you see Brad, Reim, and Trey Smith side by side for the 7th position. While ahead of them, Richard Herman trying to get around Caleb Rose for the 5th position. As you head right back up to the front, the lap car of Keith Sharchison, who, reminder, is 2 laps down, is right behind the 23. Definitely much to the dismay of Lipsy. As the 9 now looks to the outside, opening the door for Clifton as they go into turn number 4. Lipsy still on the outside. Will get back down to the inside as we come to 10 laps to go. Lipsy still on the outside as they go into turn number 1, and Clifton's going to take advantage of that. He looks to the inside of Lipsy once again for second. There's a quick look to see if any other lap cars in nearby. Jordan Forrest in turns 3 and 4. And thankfully, he's pretty doubtful. Want to catch up to him in the next 10 laps or so. As we take a look at the rest of the running order, see how things change. Ronald Stout still in 27th. Matteillo still in 26th. Hernandez in 25th. Baker still deep in the field in 22nd. Owen Miles still side by side with Kyle Salmon. Random J up to 16th for the 53, while Hoodwilm is up to 15th for the 88 car. Decent rebound there for the defending series champion. RC Gamer 14th, Ross McRow in 13th. Roberto Crown still in 12th, while Trey Smith lost a lot of ground in that 22. If you remember, not too long ago, he was inside the top 5, but now he's barely inside the top 10. He could possibly lose it here to Ryan Wilson. As we head back up front with 8 laps to go. See Clifton still side by side with Lipsy. Now David Johnson side by side with Lipsy. And as the 76 will clear the 9 cars head down the back straight away. As they go into turn number 3, Lipsy once again goes wide. And now allow Johnson to clear him as we come to 7 laps to go. Lipsy continues to fall like a rocket at 9 cars. He could possibly lose 5th now to his Railfan teammate Caleb Rose. And if Lipsy doesn't be careful here, he could possibly end up like Trey Smith and fall outside the top 10 completely. Back up front once again, Keith Sharchison right behind the back bumper of Andrew Williams. Now, if you're anyone outside of Williams instead of this top 5, you're just hoping Keyshawn gets around the 23 as fast as he possibly can. Because as you come to 6 laps to go, there's only so much more time for these guys like Clifton and Johnson to make a move on the 23. Well, of course, if Williams are on board with you right now, you're just hoping the 24 can stay behind you as long as possible, as the essentially serves as a free roadblock between him and the rest of the leaders. And even though from the outside it may seem like Richardson's racing for the win, but in reality, he's just trying to get one of his laps back. It looks like he'll show no signs of stopping as you come to 5 laps to go. Into turn 1, you saw Clifton briefly look to the inside of Keyshawn, but quickly tucks it back behind, but that's still bad news if you're the 23 of Williams. Into turn 3, here comes Johnson now looking to the inside of Clifton. And if you're Williams, this is exactly what you want to see, as this allows you to gain more ground on the rest of the field as you come to 4 laps to go. Into turn 1, Clifton and Johnson still side by side, with Johnson using that precious inside lane. And as they come off turn number 2, David Johnson, the 2 car, up to 2nd place. Johnson still has the advantage, but still trying to clear the 76 into turn number 3. Looks like going into turn number 4, David Johnson officially up to 2nd place in the 2 car as you come to 3 laps to go here at Iowa. And because of Clifton going wide off turn number 4 on the outside, you now have to deal with Caleb Rose for 3rd. Johnson continues to gain ground on both the 24 and 23 as Keyshawn briefly looked to the inside of Williams into turn number 1. And if you're Williams, you especially do not want Keyshawn to get around you. As you see David Johnson continues to gain ground in the 2 car. And if Johnson continues that trend, it can be very worrying for the 23. As you saw how he got around the 76 in almost no time. Time is running out for anyone to make their move as Ryan Wilson is coming down pit road this time by. Ross McMurrow also follows suit in the 10 car as we come to 2 laps to go. Of course, these guys were inside the top 15. In the case of Wilson, he was inside the top 10, as this could possibly signal the chance of our leaders coming up pit road before this race is over. So Keyshawn looks to the inside the 23 in turns 3 and 4. And despite Williams still being the lead, here comes Johnson quickly hot on his heels as you come to the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Iowa. Keyshawn still to the inside the 23 through turns 1 and 2 for the final time, as the 23 will quickly give Keyshawn his lap back. But there's still left enough room and time for Johnson to take the win away for the 23 as they head down the back and into turn number 3 for the final time. Johnson will get to the inside of Williams into turn number 4. Will he make it stick as they come off turn number 4 for the final time? Johnson side by side of Williams coming to the line. Williams wins. Congratulations to Andrew Williams and Williams Racing with their winners tonight here at Iowa. This is, of course, Williams' first ever GSS win and just his 5th start, and our 2nd GSS rookie to win so far in 2022 after Ryan Roberts did so last month at Vancouver, which also happened to be another short track. But now, let's take a look at the finishing results and point standings after the night's race. So here we go. Andrew Williams finishes first in the 23. Again, a big kudos for that team for getting their first ever win. while David Johnson comes also close in the 2-car, finishing second. I really do feel like if Johnson had another lap or two, he probably would have got to 23 and would have won the race. Meanwhile, finishing third is Richard Herman for his best finish in the GSS so far this year, while Caleb Rose comes home fourth for the 19. Finishing fifth is the 99 of Dan McBrow as only Ford inside the top 10, while Noah Clifton falls all the way down to 6th in the 76. But regardless, still a solid top 10 for the NS Racing driver. Finishing 7th is Brendan Beal for a much-needed top 10 finish, while pole sitter and his teammate Lipsy will finish 8th, while their car owner Bradley Reim will finish 9th in the 6th car, as all of his drivers, with the exception of Dan Matteillo, will finish inside the top 10 here tonight. And to run off the rest of the top 10 is their affiliate teammate Trey Smith in the 22. And now for the point standings after race number 5, as the top 4 standings remains unchanged from last time, as Brad Reim continues to hold strong in the points lead, with 189 points, 27 above Jordan Forbes, 38 above Keith Anderson, and 41 above Calvin Baker, as they'll had mediocre to bad runs here tonight. Speaking of Baker, he is actually tied with Joe T for the 4th place position in points, but of course due to Baker's win at the Roval, will have the advantage over the 8 car. Meanwhile, Caleb Bruce moves up 6 spots in points to the 6th position the first time he's been inside the top 10 points all season. Same could also be said for Andrew Williams and Richard Herman, as they're both tied for 7th, but obviously with Andrew Williams winning here tonight, he'll have the advantage over the 95. Meanwhile, the FedEx Series champion Hodo moves up a spot in points up to 9th, while 2020 runner-up Dan Matteillo will run off the rest of the top 10. So next up, race number 6, we're headed to the Chicago Speedway for the running of the Hyatt Regency 400. Down Rush Channel, barring any delays, on June 7th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But as always, y'all, thank you guys for watching this race. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.